Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by the metalcore legends Killswitch Engage with this consequence. So this is the 6th year between the Atonement release and this brand new album. Now Atonement obviously came out later in 2019 than this did, so it's pretty much over 5 years since we had a record, and yeah, finally here we are with the new Killswitch Engage record. So I have actually been looking forward to this. I remember listening to both of the singles that came out, Forever Aligned and I Believe, and I will say I quite liked them. I think Forever Aligned has a great amount of energy to it, and I actually think it stands out a lot better than the Atonement singles, especially the way that they just bring the guitars into this one, the writing, just Jesse's vocals. They definitely captivate me more than that song does, or any of the singles from that record does. And then I Believe, this one kind of feels more like Jesse's side project band, and I definitely get that because it's got this softer presence. It's easily the softer song on the album, but I like it. I think I Believe has this very fun, upbeat energy to it, even if it comes off a little bit more on the generic mainstream sound. I think it's still done pretty well nonetheless. Some of the things that I definitely noticed on this record is that they have a lot of tambourine uses on the choruses, which isn't the worst thing, but it becomes easily noticeable, and I feel like once I hear it, I'm just trying to find and nitpick every single song that has it, because it becomes quite noticeable at that point. It's not too bad, it's just an interesting thing that just kind of becomes a bit weird. But the other problem I have, including choruses, actually has to go to the refrains itself. There are some decent ones, like I Believe, Forever Aligned. I think The Fool of Us is a great one, and Collusion's one's not too bad either, but a lot of the songs just, they have this great energy in the verses, and when it gets to the chorus, they just kind of fall flat a little bit, which is not the worst thing, but I just kind of think even Atonement handled the chorus structure a bit better. This one, this album has a lot of great verses, a lot of great riffs in certain elements, and I think the songwriting's great, but the refrains just don't quite excel the same way as the rest of the song does, so I kind of noticed that being a bit of a bummer. But I will say there's not a bad song. I think every song is definitely worth a listen, so that's definitely, again, a normal feat of Killswitch Engage. I don't think there's really an album with a skippable song, but the highlights to me definitely were the two singles, The Fool of Us and Collusion. I think The Fool of Us just had a really fun energy to it, and I just think it's definitely one of the examples. The back half of the record is a lot better. I find the first few tracks, Abandon Us to Aftermath, just to kind of feel a bit barren. They just don't really bring much new to the table, and I wasn't really impressed or as intrigued with the record until I got to Forever Aligned, where I remember these singles were good, but the first half just kind of blows a bit in my opinion. Again, not bad, but there's just not really much to it. They've got weak choruses. There are some riffs that definitely could go pretty hard, but I don't think they quite excel them as much. I just think these songs just kind of felt watered down from their usual stuff, but once it gets to the second half, I think it definitely picks up with some amazing moments, and yeah, I think it definitely makes up for it. Then you also have the uncleans in Collusion, the growls in the bridge. Definitely the biggest highlight of the record for me. This one just caught me by surprise, gave me some chills, and that was pretty nice to see. And the energy of this whole record as a whole is still good, but I just kind of wish they had some better melodies and some better grooves and better choruses as well, because I definitely think they're the biggest damper onto this, and that's kind of the only issue I really have that pulled a lot of the songs down. It's just there are bits of songwriting I just think could be better. Lyrically it's still good, there's a lot of effort put into it, and I think as a whole everyone just does a kick-ass job. I just don't think the result is quite as impressive, and for sure it does not hold up to Jesse Leach's classic work, but it's still pretty good. I think stuff like Disarm the Descent is a lot better, and I'm honestly more biased to say I prefer the Howard Jones era of the band with The End of Heartache and As Daylight Dies, as I think these two are a lot stronger than a lot of Jesse Leach stuff nowadays, but still I think he's managing to kind of keep the band in the same direction. It's not too bad, they're not steering into a rut or anything, but I don't think they're helping themselves with kind of the structure and feeling a bit similar to previous stuff, and then the refrains just don't quite deliver as well as it used to. It just kind of feels like Killswitch Engage is still trying to do what works, put a little bit of magic in there, but it doesn't fully lift off from there. But overall, I still think it's a good enough album that I think there's enjoyment to go back into it, and that's the important part. Not their worst album, I'd even say. There's definitely weaker ones, but I'm going to be honest, it's far from the best. It just isn't quite as unique as Atonement. I felt the songs stood out a bit more. Even if it had weaker stuff, it still felt a little bit more unique with the tracks they had, but I think this one's more consistent, so at least I give it props to that. But yeah, that's all I have to say really. It's got great ideas, it's a good album. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I definitely think it's still got some great ideas, but it definitely could have more to it. I just think the refrains is the first thing I fix, and then I just kind of go for more punchy riffs because a lot of the guitars just kind of feel standard. The mixing isn't the worst thing, but it definitely kind of feels a bit weird at times, but I think that's just more or less a minor pick because I don't think it really takes away too much from it either. But yeah, that's my review. Hope you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.